is our video for Unit 2, Day 5. So last 2 days we've been talking about graphing lines. So first day graphing lines we talked about slope-intercept form. Yesterday we talked about point slope, and like we've been saying, there are 3 ways to write the equation of a line, and this way is standard form. So we've already covered slope-intercept and point slope. And this is going to be standard form we're going to do today. So the standard form equation looks a little bit different than the other two. So we're going to have x and y on the same sides. Ax plus by equals c. Alright, so A, B, and C represent real numbers. Right, and most of the time we see it. They're not just going to be real numbers, they're going to be integers. Alright, by integers what I mean is positive and negative whole numbers. Right, so any negative whole number, 0, and any positive whole number. So standard form is used mostly in algebra, mostly when we're setting up equations. So it's very, very useful in algebra, but it's not really helpful if we're doing what we've been doing, which is graphing lines. So if we want to graph a line, if we have a standard form equation of a line, we want to graph it, the best way to do that is when we convert it into slope-intercept, because slope-intercept is an easy form to work with. Right, remember though, for any function, this will work for line in standard form, you can always use a table of values. So if you prefer to use table of values like we did on day 2 in this unit, you can also set up a table of values and plug numbers in to find what points are on that line. So since we're going to be doing this by converting to slope-intercept form, first thing we do is walk through how we convert to slope-intercept form. So no slope-intercept form, that's y equals mx plus b. So the most important thing to know on this is that y is completely isolated on the left-hand side, so it's by itself. So we have a standard form equation, that's what we're going to work to do, is get just this y here by itself. So we have 3x minus 6y equals 18. First thing we're going to do is move our x terms over. Again, we use phrases like move things over. What we're really doing is adding and subtracting. We're going to add and subtract whatever operation is necessary to move it over. So 3x minus 6y, 18. The first step is we're going to take the x terms, that's 3x, and move it over. So to do that, we're going to subtract 3x. Alright, so I've got negative 6y equals 18 minus 3x. Right, if you prefer, as long as you keep the signs the same, you can change the order and write this as negative 3x plus 18. Right, just make sure the signs, positive and negative, stay the same. And now the last thing we're going to have left to do to get y by itself is get rid of that coefficient number in front. Alright, so we're going to divide by what we call b in the original standard form equation. Right, so it's this b number that's less in front of y. However, that's called a coefficient. So in this problem, that b is -6. So we're going to divide by -6 on both sides. So what's left now is I have y equals -3 over -6x plus 18 over -6. So our last step, like always, going to be, well, let's simplify this. Alright, so -3 over -6, negative over negative is positive, 3 over 6 is 1/2. Alright, 18 divided by -6, and positive divided by negative is going to be a negative, and that's going to be -3. So the final answer in slope-intercept form is going to be 1/2 x minus 3. Or we can also write that as x over 2 minus 3. You'll see it both ways when you get to math 2. So from there we know our slope. Number in front of x is 1/2. Y-intercept. Number at the end, 0, -3. Alright, so at the bottom there's 3 practice problems for you to try on your own, converting into slope-intercept form. So next page, now we're actually going to go to the next step and we're going to graph it. So we're going to do exactly what we just did, which is convert slope-intercept form first, and then we're going to go back to what we did 2 days ago and graph a line from slope-intercept form. Alright, so from the practice we just did, we know the first thing is going to be move the x terms over here to get into slope-intercept form. So I have 12y, 3x, plus 24. Right, then my next step will be to divide by whatever is in front of y, that coefficient, whole equation divided by that. And my last step will be to simplify. So I have to look at 3 over 12. I know it's 1/4 if I simplify. 24 over 12 is 2. So I'm going to have y equals 1/4 x plus 2. Alright, again, what this means is I have a slope of 1/4 and y-intercept of 0, 2. So going back to what we did on that second day, we know we start by graphing the y-intercept, so 0, 2. And then we count the slope out, up 1 and to the right 4, since it's positive 1 over 4. Alright, we can also go down 1 and left 4. Alright, and there's my line. -3x plus 12y is 24. Alright, so there's some practice problems there at the bottom, 4 practice problems for you to go through, and then try the same process. So we're converting to slope-intercept form first, then graphing from slope-intercept form, which is something that we've done in class, and should be something that you're pretty comfortable with at this point.